Jitesh Kumar Bhatia and I am working as PGT Computer Science in Kendriya Vidyalaya Jawaharnagar. My contact detail is jitesh.bhatia80@gmail.com. In my previous videos, I completed up to question number 9 and in my current video, I will be moving forward. So coming to question number 10 says, what do you mean by iteration? So what iteration is? Iteration means repeating a particular code again and again. So when a block of code is executed repeatedly multiple times until the condition is false, it is known as iteration. So it is as simple as that when a block of code is executed repeatedly, we are actually using an iteration. So iteration is achieved using loops. We have two kinds of loops, which are for loop and while loop, and we will be looking afterwards how they actually work. Coming to the next question, which is what is an entry control loop and which loop is entry control loop in Python? See, entry control loop, when we are talking about, it means which is actually being controlled at the entry level. So it is not asking you the types of loops, it is asking you the definition of entry control loop, and it is asking you which loop is entry control loop in Python. So as the name suggests, entry control loop. So a loop which checks the condition before entering the loop is known as entry control loop, and a while loop checks the condition first and allows to enter only when the condition is true. Hence while loop is called the entry control loop. So you have to write these two things and you will be getting the complete answer for this. Now coming to the next question, which is what are jump statements in Python? And we have two kinds of jump statements in Python, which are break and continue. So what I have written is Python offers two jump statements, break and continue. Why they are known as jump statement? Because it moves the control from one place to another. And one thing you have to remember, that both these jump statements should be used within the loop only. They should not be used outside the loop. So they are used within loops to jump from one place to another in loop iterations. And what does they do? The break is used to move out of the loop. It means whenever break is executing, it will be moving the control from the loop to outside. It means whether the condition is true or false, it does not matter. It will make the control outside the loop. And when we are talking about continue is used to skip the code ahead and move in the beginning of the loop. It means whenever continue is getting executed, whatever is written after continue within the loop only, that is skipped for that particular iteration, and you will be moved to the beginning of the loop for the next iteration. So this is related to jump statement. Now whatever we have learnt, we have to use that for predicting the output. So coming to question number 13, which says predict the output, the very first part is count equal to 0, while count is less than 5, print high. So as soon as we look at this particular code, we think that it will be printing high 5 times, but you are wrong this time, because it will be printing high endlessly, because the value of count is not changing. We have not changed the value of count. It is always 0, and because the value of count is always 0, it means it will be printing high again and again, and because it will be printing high again and again, it will never be actually changing the value of count, and this count less than 5 will always be true, and it will print high endlessly. So the output would be high, followed by infinite times it will be printing. Infinite time means endlessly until the memory becomes full. Coming to the second part, which says count equal to 0, while count is less than 5, print high, and we are changing the value of count by increasing it by 1 again and again every time the loop gets executed. So you can see count plus equal to 1, what it does, when the value of count was 0, it will be changing the value of count to 1. When the value of count is 1, it will be changing the value of count to 2. When the value of count is 2, it will be changing the value of count to 3, and so on. So you can see that this condition, count is less than 5, is true in the very first case, because 0 is less than 5, but it is moving towards being false, because count is less than 5 is true when count is 0. It is true when count is 1. It is true when count is 2. It is true when count is 3. It is true when count is 4. But as soon as the value of count becomes 5, 5 less than 5 becomes false, and you move out of the loop. So it means this particular lines of code, this particular block will get executed for count equal to 0, for count equal to 1, for count equal to 2, for count equal to 3, for count equal to 4. It means it will be printing 5 times high, and it will be changing the value of count 5 times. So as soon as the value of count becomes 5, 5 less than 5 is false, and you move out of the loop. So you can see the output is high, 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 high 5 times in different lines. Why in different lines? Because every time we are printing anything, we are moving to the next line. The print moves the control to the new line after printing the value that we are given for printing. Coming to the next part, which is C. C is, you can see here now we are having two variables, x and y. The value initialized for x is 10 and the value initialized for y is 0, and the condition says x greater than y. So initially the value of x is 10 and y is 0, so 10 greater than 0 is true. It means we will be moving inside the loop, and inside the loop we have three things. We are printing the value of x and y, we are decreasing the value of x by 1, and we are increasing the value of y by 1. It means every time we move inside the loop, after printing x and y, the value of x is decreased by 1 and the value of y is increased by 1. We do not know how many times this loop will get executed because the value of x and y are changing dynamically. So we can see that every time we are moving this. Let us see what the output would be. So initially 10 is greater than 0 is true. 10 is greater than 0 is true. It will move inside the loop and it will print 10 and 0. So you can see in the very first line it is printing 10 and 0. And the value of x becomes 9 and the value of y becomes 1. Y becomes 1. Then again the condition is checked. 9 is greater than 1. 9 is greater than 1 is true. So it will be printing 9 and 1, and followed by the value of x would be 8 and the y would be 2. Then again 8 is greater than 2 is again true. Then it will be printing 8 and 2, and the value of x will be now 7 and the value of y would be 3. 7 is greater than 3 is again true. So it will be printing 7 and 3, and it will be changing the value of x to 6 and y to 4. Then 6 is greater than 4 is again true. It will be printing 6 and 4 for the values of x and y, and now the x and y values would be 5 and 5 respectively. As soon as the value of x and y become 5 and 5, now we are checking the condition. 5 greater than 5 is false. Because this condition becomes false, you move out the loop and nothing gets printed. So the output would be 10 0, 9 1, 8 2, 7 3 and 6 4. In different lines of course, because after a print statement the control moves to the new line. Now coming to the next part, it is also very easy part. It is the easiest use of for loop. What a for loop does? For loop uses range. So what range does? Range takes two values, the very first value and the last value. This value is not included in the range. So when we are writing 1 6, it means we are getting the value as 1 2 3 4 and 5. 6 is not included. So whatever you are writing on the right side, that would not be included in these values. Every time this particular loop is getting executed, one value is moved towards the variable called p. This variable can be anything. Here we have taken p. So what inside this loop we have written p equal to, that will be printed as it is because it is inside double quotes, and the value of p. So the very first time when the loop gets executed, it will be printing p equal to 1. The second time it would be printing p equal to 2. The third time it would be printing p equal to 3. The fourth time it would be printing p equal to 4, and the fifth time it would be printing p equal to 5. So you can see that there is no need to change the value of p. It gets automatically changed, and the value it is getting is from this particular range, and the differences is of 1 only. So I hope you understood that how the outputs are calculated when you have been given a code. And if you have any queries, you can contact me at my email ID, which is jitesh.bhatia80@gmail.com. Thank you for listening, and thank you very much.